This week, we have Mercury retrograde. Mercury and Venus making a conjunction. Venus going into Cancer, and then the Sun's going to be conjuncting the North Node. Right after a lunar eclipse that has just allowed us all to release a lot of these inner mechanisms that no longer serve us on an emotional and soul level. Higher spirits and your higher guides are taken through to help and support you during this time, but it's very critical for you to let go and let the universe throughout this eclipse season. But we'll be getting into that in just one moment. Right here, we're going to roll in the intro. Transit Weatherman. What's good, everybody? Welcome into another installment of Transit Weatherman. So as I mentioned prior, there's a lot that's happening this upcoming week. So first of all, the first thing that we have to get to in this pecking order is Mercury GATORADE or retrograde or whatever it is that you want to refer to it to. Now, when it comes to Mercury going retrograde, this happens pretty frequently. It happens about 3-4 times a year, depending on what's going on. But the main thing that's really important about Mercury retrograde this year in particular is two things. One, this Mercury retrograde is completely tied to this lunar eclipse in Sagittarius that we just had. And then when we get to the solar eclipse, the Mercury is going to be retrograde on that solar eclipse new moon that's coming up in Gemini. What is this Mercury retrograde so important? Well, the Mercury retrograde is in Gemini. So Mercury, which is a sign of communication, rules Gemini. Now, when it comes to this Mercury retrograde, I feel like this Mercury retrograde might feel a little bit more textbook in a way, as far as like certain things that go on. However, this Mercury retrograde very, very strongly to me resonates on the frequency of people having to like go in and very much clear out their mindset behind what it is that they truly want to convey into the world. What facts do you want to pick up and what things do you want to actually like speak? What things do you want to communicate to those around you? These themes are going to start to come up with this upcoming Mercury retrograde in Gemini specifically. So keep in mind, these eclipses are uber important. If you haven't checked out the eclipse video that I did, or the full moon of Sagittarius ceremony that I did with the peace dealer, please be sure to check that out. We drop a bunch of gems in there. But there's been a lot that's coming up for this upcoming 2 weeks. Not just 2 weeks. This is shifting destiny. Eclipses shift destiny because they are tied in with the nodes, right? So not only is Mercury going retrograde, at the same time, Mercury is conjuncting Venus. So this has everything to do with this understanding of what do you want to communicate from your heart? What are you going to be speaking from your heart that's going to allow you to connect with the people that you're meant to? And a lot of this has to come with review of how am I going to be able to effectively speak my truth to other people? How do you speak your realness to other people? These are the things that are going to be starting to come up with this Mercury retrograde. So please keep that in mind. And mind you, by the time you're watching this, Mercury retrograde has probably already started. So it starts like 6:30 EST, 3:30 PST. So by the time you're watching this, Mercury retrograde has started. But let's start to go into this week and peck down every single day just so we can get this information to you and everything else. For any of you who are looking for a reading or where I'm at, please hit the link in the bio or go to bio.site/Chad the Maverick. And if that's too much, make it easy, chadthemaverick.com. If you want to find anything about me, and I'm also on all social media, but I'm mostly going to be active on Instagram. So please be sure to check these things out. So let's get into the week. So May 29th, Mercury conjunct Venus, and Mercury retrograde starts for the upcoming next 3 weeks. And this Mercury retrograde is being influenced by this eclipse season, shifting the destinies of the collective, which I'll be explaining a little bit more as I get into the week a little bit. But one other thing that's important about this day is the moon is going to be conjunct Pluto and Capricorn. So when it comes to today specifically, there's a lot of thought behind how are you going to transform yourself in a business sense? How are you going to transform in order for you to compensate for yourself in a more, I'm just sensing like a serious manner. I feel like there's a lot of shifting that has to also be involved with how are you communicating and how are you also effectively working with larger organizations, or how are you working with the larger picture? How are you working with your job? How are you working with your business? There's a lot of transformation here today with the moon passing by Pluto here. and with Mercury retrograde about to go in. So I feel like because this is all happening on the same day, this might be a theme that's going to be playing throughout this retrograde time frame as well. So this moon on this Pluto in Capricorn, although it is going to be impacting mostly like this transit, I still think this has a lot to do with, because it's at the initial point, a lot to do with some themes that will work throughout this upcoming retrograde. So please be sure to be ready to experience a certain sense of rebirth when it comes to the work and the work that you put in. Right? How are you going to secure your legacy? Capricorn is the sign of legacy. So how are you going to secure your legacy as a person in order for you to make sure that everything is set on your end, whether that be for business, whether that be for your fam or your loved ones, right? But like I said, Mercury and Venus are also conjunct as Mercury is going retrograde. So it has everything to do with your heart space. Are you tapping into your heart space? Are you allowing yourself to love? And are you allowing yourself to experience this love? Well, if you didn't and you haven't already, this whole Mercury retrograde is a time frame for you to kind of combine your love with what you say. So by the time it goes direct, you know what to say and it's coming from your heart, especially in the world of the workforce as well. Make sure that even in the workforce, you're able to speak from your heart, because if you're not allowed to, it may not be the place for that. So it's something to keep in mind when we come to this upcoming May 29th, right? So for the next 2 days after the 29th, we have the 30th and on the 31st, right? So on the 30th, we have the moon in Aquarius making its conjunction to Saturn. This is going to kind of bring in a certain sense of, hey, we're speaking as a community. You're connecting maybe more with like a larger community, but like you're kind of finding and figuring out what's your role within said community. What type of crystallization can you bring in order to help other people out, but not just help other people out? How are you embracing your own genius by allowing yourself to, I was going to say network, but that's not even the right term. It's allowing yourself to like let people that come into your space with the same resonance as you, right? This is what's going to be very critical, and it's going to usually come through like thought. So people that have the same type of thought structures as you, people that might believe in the same things as you, these are the people that you're going to start connecting with. And Saturn is kind of helping crystallize you to be like, yo, this is where you at. This is who you are. The lunar eclipse is guiding you. Mind you, the universe is guiding this whole entire time. I'm just explaining how these things are happening via the sky. But with the moon, like I said, in Aquarius conjunct Saturn, please make sure to like really allow yourself to figure out your lane and figure out your spot in the world, figure out your part within your tribe, figure out the part within your community that you can like really serve, that really like resonates with you on that soul frequency. I'm going to keep seeing this soul frequency because this is very important. So on the 31st, right, basically what we're going to be doing on the 31st, Mars is going to be trining Neptune. Word. So when Mars trines Neptune, this is an excellent day to start to very much work towards that dream. So if you've been like waiting on something, if you've been waiting to do a project, especially creatively, if you're waiting to do a project, if you've been waiting on like the right time to really start to make the move towards something, mind you, Mercury retrograde, a lot of people are like, don't make new things, don't make new decisions. In my personal opinion, when it comes to Mercury retrograde, if it is something that you have thought of or worked on prior and you want to go back, review it, and then make sure that you like make it right, especially with the South Node that just came through with the moon and this lunar eclipse. There's a lot of past talents from people that are going to be resurfacing. So if these things are resurfacing during this Mercury retrograde, take heed to them. If another idea that has come up beforehand is now prevalent to you or is now revealing itself to you, take the chance and take the opportunity, because this Mars trine Neptune can lead you to your dream. However, if it doesn't resonate with you, please be careful as well. Neptune can sometimes be deceptive as far as like where it'll take you, because it wants to take you on a journey in a sense, right? So please be mindful though that if you really do work and you push forward that real intent, these things are going to start to really like magically start to like work for you. To start to wrap up the rest of this week, I'm kind of going through this a little bit quicker, but I wanted to at least tell you the major shifts. So there's major shifts that you need to know and pay attention to very strongly this week. Mercury conjunct Venus on the 29th. Mercury retrograde is going to be going on for the next 3 weeks. The Sun conjunct the North Node on June 1st, shifting the destiny of the collective to speak their truth at a higher vibration. Venus going into Cancer, which is going to make sure that you nurture yourself on a soul and spiritual level. Literally after this lunar eclipse, the moon rules Cancer. So think about it like that. You are now harnessing the love that the lunar eclipse is trying to bring you into, right? And for the rest of the week, we have the Sun on the 3rd, we're on June 3rd, the sun trines Saturn, right? Taking your personality and taking whatever it is that you want to do seriously, getting it done. Venus is going to be trying Jupiter, opportunities for you to expand the love that you had. This is also a great day to make a certain money moves on the 3rd because Venus trining Jupiter, Venus also rules money, which a lot of people don't know, and Jupiter rules expansion. So this is also a great day to like make certain money moves that you've been aiming at on the 3rd. Mars is going to be sextile Lilith, so there's going to be a lot of like realness in the collective as you look on social media. I guarantee there's going to be something about like a very prominent celebrity that has a lot of like sex appeal and etc. popping up and having these like really big breaks. So I almost guarantee that's going to happen with this upcoming on the 3rd and around that time frame because of this. And the moon's going to be in Aries. So this is the time frame to make sure you are in your own power of who you are. So this is all going to be happening on June 3rd. So keep this in mind for June 3rd. There are a lot of shifts on June 3rd. Obviously, this is a video. You can just scroll back and listen to this whenever. So that's also a really great part of this, right? Now, on the 4th, we have the moon in Aries, I just mentioned, making this conjunction to Chiron. This is a very strong time to release any old wounds that might have been harming you. This is a lot of inner child healing for the collective for a very long time. And this doesn't matter what age you are. You can still be like younger and having these like childhood things that you have to overcome. And the reason why this is because this is your power to help other people, is being yourself. And so if you are able to navigate through this Chiron and Aries, how to be the best self that you can be, you're going to be helping other people suggest to be themselves, right? We have to make sure that the next generation is comfortable with just being themselves in its entirety so they don't have to go through the same things that we might have gone through in our generations prior, right? Now, the next thing that I have to say with this moon in Aries, on the next day, we have Mercury square Neptune and Mars opposite Pluto. Mercury square Neptune, I feel like this June 5th, right? It's going to be the first time frame I feel with a Mercury retrograde energy in that square to Neptune. It's going to kind of make you almost like question it. I feel like there's a lot of letting go and let the universe, but on this day, on the 5th, and with Mars opposite Pluto, there's a lot of like turmoil as far as like, yo, can I do this? Can I make it through? Can I make it out? And it's going to feel intense. I'm not going to sit here in front with y'all. The Mars opposite Pluto being in Cap, Mars being in Cancer. This is a very powerful time to like purge. This is a very strong purging day, as a matter of fact. So if you're going to be like in your thoughts in these like, if you're having negative thoughts around this time frame or on this day, just know that you have to like trust in the gut and trust in all the manifestations that you've previously put out, because that's what's going to be making the real difference, right? So this is going to be like a day where it's kind of like difficult to know that your visions are going to come true, but trust with the universe and knowing that it's going to pull through. Mind you, this is, like I said, heavy times. We're in eclipse season. We're about to get in Mercury retrograde. Be patient with yourself, right? So this has basically been the astrology of the week. My biggest thing that I want to tell to y'all, be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to like feel things that you may not have felt before. Allow yourself to maneuver through things you may have felt before. This eclipse is affecting everybody in every different way, right? So please be sure to figure out how that works with you. Check out your chart. If you don't know how this lunar eclipse works with you, feel free to ask any question that you want to me. I have Hey Hero, so if you want to ask a question about anything astrology related, anything tarot related, anything about your chart, about anything else, please be sure to hit me up there. If you want a full chart reading, please hit me up, chadthemaverick.com. I have my advanced chart reading actually on sale, and my everything you need to know reading always hits for everybody. So that's always a hit smash. But outside of that, appreciate you all for showing up. Thank you all for popping in and popping through. Please like, comment, share this with somebody in the collective, share this with a friend who might need it, or just watch it, you know, whatever, whatever feels right to you. But outside of that, appreciate you all for being here. So much love. Have some new things coming in very soon. So please stay tuned. And until next time, y'all have a great one. Stay blessed, stay beautiful. Have a great one. Peace out.